will do my presentation in English, so it may be that sometimes I'm stuttering, but then you know that I'm just not a native English speaker, but we have some English guests that I hope to entertain also in English. I've been asked to give you a presentation on a number of items, especially not looking forward, but more, I would say, the actual phase. And the point that just happened was that I just gave my SIM card to Yuri so that he could actually try out the Android phone. And the point is, I immediately feel disconnected. I have the feeling that I'm missing SMSs. I have the feeling that I am just no longer connected to my friends and family. And that's actually the same thing that happens to my kids as well. That if they go to school, he's 12 years old, and he doesn't bring along his mobile phone, he really feels disconnected from, I would say, society in that sense. I'll go into detail in that, but first of all, I would like to start with something. Just looking back, I mean, 10 years ago, a lot of people didn't see any need for mobile. It was something that invaded your privacy. It was something for business customers. It was something for the yuppies. It was something for people in suits. And I'm just wearing a suit because I had a meeting this morning. But people just didn't see the need for it. And the interesting part is that if you just have a look on this picture here, and you can see that it's just a cow skin, or it has clouds. But it prohibits you that if you watch carefully, you can also see a cow in this screen that previously you wouldn't have been able to potentially to see it. But the problem is now that if you remove it, you will only see the cow. So there's always a moment that you just have to go across the tipping point and really realize that the mobile phone or mobile internet is something that you really want and need. And if you don't try it, you don't know it. And that's precisely what I just wanted to show with the picture here on the mobile side. So every time you see this picture, I bet with you that you will see the cow. So we call it cow thinking. So don't be a cow thinker. It's also important that if you just have a look on mobile internet, I think many of you are already using it. I think you have the feeling that it's already passé and it's done and we're just to context sharing. I think that we're just at the start. Also here, just to touch upon a new performance challenge, also for mobile operators and I think also the fixed operators. Something that you all know, Moore's Law. I was told that everybody of you can actually dream it, so I will not go into detail. But the interesting part to me, if you look to this simple graph, is that you paid around 200 euros for a digital camera, and you will pay 200 euros for the next digital camera, but you will have many more features in it. The only thing is that up until now, that all these devices have been not connected to each other. You have to manually connect it. You have to use the cable, you have to connect it. But the next thing is, and we call it connected live, that will be tomorrow, is that it will all be interconnected without you knowing. It will be seamlessly connecting all the devices to each other. And I think that actually brings a huge surge into data traffic. And I have some pictures for you on that one as well. So in the Netherlands, $3.5 billion or euros, I mean, have been invested in the Dutch infrastructure, access infrastructure, 3G, for operators. And the point is that we had some doubts, I would say, in 2001 as we acquired all this spectrum, build out the network, and still awaiting to really see the traffic upcoming. But the problem was that until a long time, it was, I would say, nearly empty. So we had to wait for the right applications, we had to wait for the right handsets, and I do know that now at this stage, I would say that 80% of all the people having a mobile phone will be able to use mobile internet, but just not on the 3G level. And we probably get some questions later on batteries, what that will mean. But if you go in detail on the mobile internet, you can also see that around 50% of the people don't send any SMSs. I mean, between 50% of the population send between 0 and 10 SMSs on a monthly basis. And you have some people that really just suck up all the data you can actually have. And that's something that you can see here. I just took a snapshot of our network. And it is here on the 2G, 3G HSDPA network. And we introduced the iPhone some time ago. And it's really taking a staggering growth by having a phone that is really making internet ubiquitous. It's really seamlessly providing you a true internet experience. And I find it really exciting to really see that of course, in the beginning, you could also see that it was already used in network, but I think we now have found a device, and I think there are more devices upcoming, just as the one as the Android phone. Some people have it, some don't. But you can clearly see here is that really the device does make a difference. And you can see the same thing here. I just took a snapshot on a weekly basis, just on the network, just to give you a comparison on the differences that actually devices can do, and how devices can actually make it really seamless. The left side is megabytes transmitted. So also here, a true distinction that it's similar cow thinking. Can really the device just ensure that you can, if you give different people a different device, will they then change their behaviors? Will they call more? Will they web surf more? I wouldn't say that we have the answer that if you give everybody an iPhone, that everybody will use much more data, because you have some choices that consumers take from the beginning. But here we can clearly see that data is taking a huge surge. And growth. I really find it amazing. So I'm just wait and see until we get the new Android phone. So we also made a short snapshot of the websites that people would visit. Regular people, just like you and me, just on a normal regular phone. Would there be any difference if you would change just the GUI? And the answer is clearly yes. If you can look to this one, it's much more on video sharing, social networking, and there's really a difference also. I mean, YouTube is watched 6 times more often than just on a normal, regular subscription that we have. So Hives, also quite famous application, both on the top 3, but people on a phone with a better user interface just use Hives more, 1.5 times the regular ones. So something to highlight, and that's also, if you can see, to all the new phones upcoming. I just took two phones. It's the Android phone and the Apple phone, and I think there's a very big similarity in both phones. It is the application store. It's something where you can see that also device manufacturers are moving into the territory of also providing access. It's a question. On access, 80% of the revenues is where also the operator earns their money. We are good in building access networks, and that's where at this stage the money is. And you can also see that iTunes and actually Apple too is also delivering new ways to actually provide additional functionality in that sense. This is also something that probably most of you know. If you just look also in the network, but also on different other places, it's clearly that people use it at home. It's really making the internet just more ubiquitous, and I expect that around between 9 and 11 o'clock, most customers just use mobile internet. And once you use it, people really don't want to give it up anymore. I mean, 80% of the customers having mobile internet is something that they say that this is really a must-have. They use no medium besides this one. And just short, because I was also trying to recoup the time, I think there will be a lot more change to happen tomorrow, and I think that we are really at the beginning of true mobile internet broadband in the Dutch market with all the great and good products and tools. So, cool. Here we go.
Thank you very much, Raymond. Time for questions? Yeah. We have some time for questions. Anybody have a question for Raymond?
Yeah. Is there a connection between calling less and texting less when people have a better mobile internet connection?
Sorry, what?
Do people text less and call less when they have a better internet connection?
I would say that we do see a strong link between if people really do a lot of minutes in calling on a network, that they send less SMSs because most of them then just have less time. But we do see that certain devices, just as the Nokia devices, and there will be new upcoming, that there is a difference in terms of the number of calls people are making and the web browsing functionality. So we do see the differences. Yeah.
Hi, how do you see the competition T-Mobile is going to get from people using Skype over the mobile phone now, over the network, over the internet?
Hello? Yeah.
How do you see the competition?
Yeah.
This broadband internet on the mobile phone is the competition T-Mobile is going to get from Skype.
Yes and no. If you look to for example, the iPhone or the Android phone or the new phones upcoming, that certainly they have the ability to provide you high-speed data connections, but we also provide different I would say, mobile broadband USB sticks, for example, and you are able to use voice over IP services over the highest rate plan, but not on. We don't provide it on the mobile phones.
Geert Kolthoff, sorry. Yeah, I have a question about the usage on the iPhone between applications and the browsing model. So using the Safari browser. So do you see any difference in usage? So what is most used?
You know, besides the websites visited that we can track in a network, we have no information on that.
Okay.
Yeah, on my way.
Hi, Stefan Verkerk. Vroeger collega van Raymond bij T-Mobile, tegenwoordig Sanoma, hoofd online strategie en acquisities. Are operators finally comfortable being a bitpipe then?
I'm not saying that we are very good in building good bitpipes, and I think that holds true for all the operators. But we of course also look into different kinds of services by going up in the value chain, whereas other players are just moving downwards in the value chain.
Still looking up then. Still looking up then from being the bitpipe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. A question about the websites you mentioned, nu.nl and Hives. We saw at the last Mobile Monday that nu.nl has 750,000 unique visitors a month and Hives 400,000. And in your order, it's different. Yep. Could you please explain that?
It has to do with the users that actually also acquired, of course, the mobile phone in that sense. So there are also the early adopters. But I think that my personal interpretation of that would be that people have a different kind of user interface, which is just more simple to use, and therefore just use it.
Okay, thank you.
Final question.
Yeah, over here.
Yeah.
Robin Puthley, Stray Systems. Closer? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Vodafone has recently started adapting internet to mobile. How is T-Mobile's position on that? Is that something you plan to do in the future?
I don't think I really understood the question.
Okay. Vodafone has started transforming internet sites into mobile sites, unasked. Is that something that T-Mobile is planning to do?
Not specifically that I'm aware of. So, I don't know. Good question. I don't know.
And again, all other questions asked on the back channel, please ask them to Raymond in the break.
Yeah.
Okay, Raymond, thank you very much. And you have something to say, I believe, Yuri?
Yeah, Yuri is at least my SIM card, but he is an exciting phone that he just wants to show to the rest of the audience.
Thank you. Down, please.